October 5th, 2021, 3:12 a.m. The middle of the Atlantic Ocean, 85 miles off the coast of Florida. A Chinese man grips a plastic tiller. His inflatable boat cost $3,000. He has no life raft. He has no emergency beacon. He has zero sailing experience. Gasoline sloshes across the rubber floorboards. One stray spark from static electricity, and the entire vessel becomes a fireball. Inside his waterproof backpack are two standard SD cards. Those pieces of plastic contain ground-level footage of China's secret concentration camps. 268 detention compounds, filmed from the outside by a civilian. He ran a fast food stall. He has no intelligence training. He holds no press badge. 6 months ago, he walked straight into the most heavily surveilled region on the planet. Millions of cameras, thousands of police outposts, artificial intelligence algorithms actively flagging people for interrogation. He filmed site after site. Every single checkpoint scanner failed to stop him. Now he is drifting in the dark. But before pushing off the coast of the Bahamas, he executed the most calculated move of his entire operation. He opened his laptop. He scheduled the footage to upload automatically. He set a timer on a server halfway across the world. If the ocean kills him tonight, the video still goes live. If the United States Coast Guard intercepts him and confiscates his gear, the video still goes live. If Chinese state agents track his location and eliminate him, the video still goes live. He removed himself from the equation. A surveillance state operates by arresting the witness and deleting the evidence. You cannot interrogate an automated server request. You cannot bribe a countdown clock. By scheduling the upload, he stripped the state of its only weapon. Censorship requires a target. He made sure the target was no longer him. This is not bravery. This is mathematical survival. He transformed his own potential death into a meaningless variable. The data will survive. The geometry of the prison walls will reach the public. The coordinates will match the satellite imagery. The machines spent billions building an unbeatable digital dragnet. He beat it with a rented camcorder and an automated YouTube upload. This is how an ordinary man cracks the world's most advanced surveillance state. And this is exactly what happens when the state realizes it missed him. Let's rewind the clock. July 4th, 2021. The escape begins not with a dramatic boat chase, but with a quiet walk through customs. He leaves China via Shekou port. He transits through Hong Kong. He boards a flight to Ecuador. The borders are tightening. The pandemic has turned international travel into a concrete wall. But the real threat is not the virus. The real threat is the software sitting inside his phone. The domestic health code application. To the rest of the world, contact tracing apps were temporary medical tools. Inside this system, the app is an absolute control mechanism. It tracks movement patterns. It tracks associations. It tracks physical proximity to flagged individuals. A central administrator can change a citizen's code from green to red with a single keystroke. A red code means you cannot board a train. You cannot enter a supermarket. You cannot leave your apartment building. You are electronically locked inside a geographic perimeter. Guan knows his timeline is collapsing. The Integrated Joint Operations Platform, known as IJOP, is constantly processing data from his Xinjiang trip. Hotel check-ins, gas station facial scans, digital payments made near detention centers. The algorithm is slow to connect the dots because he looks like a tourist. But databases never forget. Eventually, a data node will flag his proximity to the coordinates of the Daban-Cheng prison complex. When that happens, his health code will flip red. The borders will seal. He will vanish into the very system he just filmed. He needs distance. Ecuador offers visa-free entry for Chinese citizens.
He lands in South America, but he does not immediately head north. He stays in Ecuador for over 2 months. He is waiting for a specific chemical compound, the Pfizer vaccine. He does not wait for medical reasons. He waits for logistical clearance. Domestic vaccines keep you trapped inside the domestic travel ecosystem. Western vaccines open international borders. He is upgrading his biological passport. Every single day he waits in Ecuador is another day the IJOP servers could finally flag his identity. The paranoia becomes a physical weight. He obsessively checks the news. He scans crowds for plainclothes officers. He knows the reach of the state extends far beyond its physical borders. Overseas police stations operate in shadows. Extradition requests can be fabricated. He is carrying a radioactive liability in his backpack. If you are fascinated by the exact mechanics of how individuals outsmart global security networks and break multi-billion-dollar systems, hit the subscribe button for clarity uncovered. Your subscription ensures these architectural breakdowns of modern surveillance keep getting produced. The waiting ends. He secures the vaccine. He buys a ticket to the Bahamas. The geography shifts, but the trap only tightens. He lands in Freeport. He is now closer to the United States than ever before. But politics is replaced by physics. The Bahamian visa gives him exactly 14 days of legal breathing room. He originally planned to ship a proper sailboat from China to save money and ensure a safe crossing. The global shipping delays crush that plan. The container is delayed. The 14-day clock is ticking. Overstaying a visa means deportation. Deportation means a direct flight back into the hands of the Ministry of State Security. He has no time. He has no options. He walks into a local marine supply store in Freeport. He empties his accounts.
He drops $3,000 on a consumer-grade inflatable boat and a basic outboard motor. This is a vessel designed for calm lakes and coastal fishing. It is not engineered for the Atlantic Ocean. He purchases a mechanical compass. He relies on a standard smartphone for GPS navigation. He has no backup battery pack. He cannot afford a sealed marine fuel system. He buys plastic gas cans. He does not buy a wetsuit. He has no redundant safety equipment. If the motor floods, he drifts. If the phone dies, he loses the coordinates. In the intelligence world, operations are built on redundancy. Backup communication, extraction teams, secure safe houses. Guam has a rubber floor and a ticking clock. The disparity is staggering.
The state possesses military satellites, facial recognition gates, and a domestic security budget surging into the tens of billions of dollars. Guam possesses a fishing boat and a few gallons of unleaded gasoline. He pushes the boat off the sand. The moment the rubber leaves the Bahamian coastline, the operational phase shifts. He can no longer hide in crowds. He cannot blend in with traffic. He is a single heat signature on a massive, cold ocean. He points the bow northwest. The water darkens. The waves immediately remind him that the ocean does not negotiate.
Guan is not a sailor. He is drifting. He drifts for nearly 23 hours. He barely eats. He consumes a single can of soda. The salt water cracks his lips. The sun burns his skin. He looks at the horizon. There are no landmarks. There are no other ships. The only proof that he is moving forward is the trembling needle of his mechanical compass and the GPS dot on his phone. His battery is dying. His motor is sputtering. He has to refuel. He stands up on a rubber floor that is constantly pitching and rolling. He opens an unsealed plastic gas can. He tries to pour gasoline into the hot outboard motor. Fuel spills everywhere. The smell of gasoline saturates the boat. For hours, he sits inside a floating fire hazard. He cannot dock. He cannot pull over. He cannot call for help.
He just has to keep moving. He planned to arrive under the cover of darkness. He wanted to avoid detection. The ocean does not care about his operational timeline. He drifts through the night. The sun rises on October 6th. Around 9 a.m., the inflatable boat scrapes against sand. He looks up. The Florida coastline. The first people he sees are not Border Patrol agents or heavily armed police. It is an elderly American couple on a morning walk. Guan grabs his waterproof backpack. He sprints off the beach. He dives into the coastal bushes. He hides. He watches the water. A United States Coast Guard patrol boat cruises past. They do not stop. They do not turn around. Then, the most profound thing happens. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are no sirens. There are no officers tackling him to the ground. There is no artificial intelligence algorithm analyzing his facial structure to determine his threat level. The multi-billion-dollar machine that he beat in Xinjiang cannot reach across the Atlantic Ocean. For the first time in over a year, no system is watching him. The only machine left is the internet, and the internet operates by a different set of rules. Once something is uploaded, it multiplies. On October 5th, while he was still fighting the ocean, his scheduled upload executed perfectly. The video went live. It hit the internet like a digital earthquake. A rare ground-level record from a Chinese citizen who used leaked satellite coordinates to locate and film detention facilities across Xinjiang. It included the massive, highly guarded complex at Dabancheng, a complex that contradicted the state's official narrative that the re-education camps had been closed. The footage did not show the inside of the cells. It did not capture the faces of the prisoners. What it captured was something much more dangerous to a cover-up. It captured geometry. It matched coordinates to concrete. It matched angles to satellite imagery. It proved operational activity at sites that officially did not exist. For the open-source intelligence researchers who had spent years trying to prove the existence of this system from orbit, Guan's footage was the final puzzle piece. Geospatial analysts finally had the ground truth. They could point to a shape on a satellite map and confirm that it was a functioning detention site. The Pulitzer Prize-winning team at BuzzFeed News publicly stated that his footage provided crucial corroboration for their satellite analysis. The cover-up lost its friction. The state could no longer simply classify satellite images as misidentifications. The walls were real. The watchtowers were real. The barbed wire was real. The price of this exposure was immediate. The online attacks began. State authorities visited his family in China. Years later, the story twisted again. He was detained in the United States during an immigration enforcement operation. But do not let the bureaucratic aftermath steal the ending of this operation, because the ending that the machine cannot erase is already permanent. The state built a system designed to make reality completely deniable. They put satellites in orbit. They deployed algorithms on the ground. They escorted diplomats through staged tours. They relabeled prisons as vocational schools. They built a bureaucracy so vast it could absorb any accusation without changing its shape. And one man, with a rented camera and 2 SD cards, walked straight into it. He did not succeed because he was a highly trained operative. He did not succeed because he had a death wish. He succeeded because he was ordinary enough
to slip through the seams. The machine was perfectly calibrated to detect threats. He looked exactly like traffic. That was the fatal flaw. That was the blind spot. That is how a billion-dollar surveillance state meets one unbudgeted human being and loses.
The video was public. The scheduled upload had executed. But the real detonation wasn't on a YouTube view count. It was inside the hard drives of open source intelligence, or OSINT, researchers across the globe. For years, organizations like the Australian Strategic Policy Institute and journalists at BuzzFeed News had been meticulously building a digital map of the detention system. They analyzed thousands of satellite images. They cross-referenced blanked-out zones on Chinese mapping platforms with external satellite data to pinpoint anomalies in the desert. They identified over 380 suspected facilities constructed or expanded since 2017. They proved industrial-scale construction. But from orbit, a prison looks exactly like a factory or a boarding school. Walls and watchtowers do not come with labels. A satellite image is just a snapshot of a crime scene, frozen in time and distance. You can stare at a screenshot until your eyes blur and still argue about what it actually shows. Denial, when packaged professionally by state media tours and polished counter-narratives, can outlast evidence for years. This is the friction that cover-ups rely on. Guan's footage erased that friction. The 23 hours he spent drifting across the Atlantic were matched by thousands of hours of painstaking geospatial analysis that followed. Analysts took his footage and performed a process called geolocation. They matched the specific ground truth geometry of the walls he filmed to the empty shapes on their satellite maps. They confirmed that the shapes were not factories. They were functioning, operational detention sites. The remote complex at Dabancheng, previously classified only by orbit, now had physical proof of its massive scale and watchtowers. Ground truth is the missing puzzle piece that allows researchers to move from highly likely to confirmed. BuzzFeed News explicitly supported him, stating that his footage provided crucial corroboration for their satellite analysis, which had just won a Pulitzer Prize. Denying the existence of these facilities suddenly required a denial of basic mathematics. The cover-up had met ground truth. The algorithm in Xinjiang failed to assign meaning to a tourist van near a wall, but the human network of OSINT analysts instantly assigned the highest level of intelligence value to his data. The state cannot unpublish a video that has already been downloaded by 1 million servers.
But the state understands the psychology of coercion. If you cannot destroy the data, you destroy the source. The price of exposure arrived quickly. Online attacks flooded social media platforms. Doxing campaigns targeted his identity and his family in China. Reports confirmed that authorities questioned his relatives after the video went public. This is standard operational procedure for regimes specialized in enforced disappearances and collective punishment. The message wasn't for Guan. It was for anyone else watching, anyone else considering becoming ordinary enough to slip through the seams. It is the architectural application of fear, ensuring that the next selling point of the machine is that even if you beat the algorithm, you will still lose everything that makes beating it worthwhile.
And then came the twist. A twist so clinically ironic that no algorithm could have programmed it. Guan Hang had escaped the world's most advanced industrial detention system in Xinjiang. He had survived 23 hours on an open ocean, refueling a hot motor with gasoline sloshing across a rubber floor. He had lulled a military base shop owner into indifference by drifting donuts in his SUV. He had reached the self-proclaimed leader of the free world,
Then, years later, he was caught by a different kind of machine: United States bureaucracy. During an immigration enforcement operation, Guan was detained by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The man who spent 6 months collecting ground truth data from the world's tightest surveillance zone. The man who designed a self-executing data dump on a foreign server was electronically flagged by an administrative processing algorithm in the country he escaped to.
He did not sit in a cell in Xinjiang. He sat in an American administrative cell. The irony is total. He escaped one system designed to make people disappear, only to be processed by another system specialized in the legal logistics of unwanted people. The IJOP servers in Xinjiang did not stop him, but a data node inside a U.S. Department of Homeland Security database did. It is the ultimate Lumi payoff. The system is vast, it is bureaucratic, it is unfeeling, and it doesn't matter which flag it flies, it always has a cell waiting for an unbudgeted human being.
But databases can be overwritten by human judgment. The legal fight for Guan's future began.
A trial, conducted not in silence behind secret prison walls, but in an American immigration court. A judge analyzed the coordinates. They analyzed the risk. They analyzed the ground truth of what returning him to China actually meant. On January 28, 2026, the final order was executed. Asylum was granted. The judge based the decision on a well-founded fear of persecution if he were returned to China. A fear that was not hypothetical. It was documented in bits and bytes, stored on the very YouTube servers that executed his scheduled upload years prior. Guan Heng is no longer drifting. He is not hiding in the bushes. The machine lost. It lost not to a military operation, but to geometry, 2 SD cards, and a scheduled upload.
It lost to an ordinary man who looked exactly like traffic.
The state built a wall of denial, but the truth sits in a server request, multiplying every single time you hit play. The database never forgets. But neither does the public,